Hi guys, it's Stacy here from Brazen Profit Lab and the Online Marketing Boutique. Now in today's short video, I'm going to do a review of Victoria Fitzgerald's website. Now Victoria is an artist based in Melbourne and she retails her abstract art using the Shopify platform. Now the aim is to keep this review short and sweet, so we're not going to be covering all of the pages, but I'm going to be reviewing Victoria's homepage, giving some recommendations for how she can optimize certain areas and just a little bit of how she can improve the overall user experience. And I'm also going to be looking at one of her product pages. So without any further chit chat, let's dive in. Okay, so my very first thought when I came onto the page here was that I felt that the login section and the create account section just felt a little bit redundant. It didn't feel like it needed to be there. The quick question to me would be, how many people have created an account since you've had the store or logged in? If the answer is none, I would remove it and use that real estate for something more beneficial to you. So say your social media URLs, you could get them placed up here if your template will allow it. So another thing that came to me as soon as I came on the site was that this slider here doesn't really feel like a good representation of your work, especially this slider here with all the text on it. Now I know you were clearly going for a mixture of fonts, but it just kind of feels messy. It doesn't feel like it's laid out well. Just from this part of the screen without scrolling, I don't want to scroll any further, and I think a lot of your best work is being hidden or doesn't get seen because of the initial impact that this slider is making. Likewise, this second image is great in that it shows texture, but it shows no context in a weird way. It just kind of feels like a nice textured image. There are no words, there's no call to action. There's nothing that tells your visitor, your reader, what to do next. So let's scroll down. So you've got this little bit of text here underneath your slider. Once again, I'm not really sure it's the best use of real estate on your homepage. I think a lot of this information can go into your about page, your about me page, which is up here. And I would start showing your products, what you're selling, as quickly as possible, and with good reason, because once you go further down, now the site really starts to pop. This stands out really much to me. This image here stands out, and also your Instagram feed that you've got running along the footer of your site looks great, but I think a lot of people won't get to see that part of the website because they won't get past this initial impression, which kind of feels like a blog, doesn't really feel like a shop. Let's hop on over to one of Victoria's money pages. Now, what do I mean by money pages? I mean her product pages where she's able to make sales. So this is the main kind of collections page. Let's hop on into a print. But one point I do want to make was that something that stood out for me was that all of your pricing is the same. There are no prints that are cheaper, no prints that are more expensive, and overall your products feel really low priced. I feel like they should be a little bit more expensive. I think that there's some value being lost here because they're all exactly the same price and people are not able to price anchor things in any place. I would say look at your pricing, whether you want to have some lower price prints and then some more kind of exclusive higher priced prints. Let's go into one of your products. Okay, now I love the way your products are displayed. They're really, really beautiful. I mean, like, I think a lot of people won't even see this because they won't go this far within your website. Now, the next thing that comes to mind is that this space here where you have the opportunity to use other images to help further sell your product isn't really being used very well. I would love to see some imagery that helps to put this print and what you do into context. So where is this going to be used? In a bedroom, in a living room, in a hallway? You know, some really beautiful kind of home decor images that would help to help people imagine your prints in their home. Now, the other thought that I had here was that, and not necessarily this particular description, but I felt that a lot of your descriptions didn't have enough, they didn't pop, they didn't jump out at me. And though even though you're creating art, your language wasn't particularly colorful or emotive or didn't create any visual imagery for me. I think you could work on some of these product descriptions and also make your product descriptions far more about your customer, the outcome of what owning your art will bring to them. You know, I think there's a lot of focus on the features of your work, but not necessarily on the benefits. And I think that is what you really need to sell when it comes to this type of product, because you have to imagine that somebody can actually go into IKEA and buy, you know, a so-called abstract art print for $25. What is it about what you do that's going to make them pay $50+? And I will reiterate, I really think you need to look at your pricing. I think you could price your prices in a lot more of a premium space. So that's it for today's short website review. This has been for Victoria Fitzgerald, the artist. We've reviewed her homepage and one of her product pages. Victoria, if you've got any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.